Okay, everyone, I'm just recording this video to answer to some of the questions which was raised today in my workshops. So I thought I better share it with everyone across all campuses so everyone has access to the same information. First of all, the first thing that I want to review is basically adjusting your errors or fixing the errors that you have made in your invoices or in your bills. Then the other thing that was asked in my workshops today was recording the entries in the journal entries or invoices, and then some issues about partial payments and stuff like that. So let's go through the errors. Let's say you have recorded some sales or purchase of inventory, and that sales or purchase of inventory has been recorded wrongly. Now, before I go ahead, in terms of sales or purchase of inventory, as I mentioned many times before, all the sales or purchase of inventory needs to be recorded through invoice and bills. So if you're selling inventory, you record it through invoice. And if you're making an invoice, make sure you make it tax inclusive, right? If you're purchasing an inventory, record it through bill and make sure you also have it tax inclusive, right? So that's about it. Now, in terms of journal entry, so in terms of all sales and purchase of inventory are recorded through invoice and bills. So everything related to inventory is recorded through invoice and bills. Anything which is not related to inventory is recorded through manual journal entries. How do I find the manual journal entry? I go to the report, okay, and I find the manual journal entries here. While I'm on the report, I get rid of the highlight for the profit and loss, the new version. I get rid of the highlight for the balance sheet, the new version, and I made the older version of the balance sheet as my favorite one. I highlight it as my favorite one. I highlight the older version of the profit and loss as my favorite one, and I make the older version of the trial balance, I highlight it as my favorite one. So every time I click on the accounting tab, I will have balance sheet, journal report, profit and loss, and trial balance as my favorites here. So I don't have to go back to the reports and see them. Okay, so let's have a look at journal report. I just wanted to have a look at journal report. So have a look at journal report. If you want to record some manual journal entries, you click on add new journal, leave the amounts are as no tax, and then calculate the tax manually, right? So let's say you are purchasing some non-current assets, purchasing a computer, purchasing any equipment. You record it through manual journal entry. You're depreciating asset, manual journal entry. You're recording the adjusting entries, recorded through manual journal entries, right? So all of those things are recorded through manual journal entries. Now, if there is any transaction that involves GST and you want to record the GST here, leave the amount as no tax and then calculate the GST manually, right? So GST, don't create any GST paid or GST collected, only have the GST figure. So have only one GST figure. If it is a paid one, make it debit. If it is a collected one, make it credit, right? So that's about manual journal entries. And let's say you have recorded a manual journal entry and you want to fix that. So you go to accounting, you go to journal report, and you look at the manual journals. You look at the posted manual journals. On the posted manual journals, you click on your manual journal entry and you click on journal options. If you want to void it, you can void it. If you want to edit it, you can edit it, right? Let's say I want to edit this one. I click on edit, I make my changes, and I click on post once again. Okay, so that's how you edit a manual journal entry. In terms of editing your invoices or bills, you need to firstly find your invoice or bills. So it's already mentioned in the help sheets, but I'm not sure if you have read that. So go to the business, find your invoice. Now on the invoices, if it is related to a sales transaction, find the invoice, go to the invoice and find it. So if it is a paid invoice, you will find it on the paid. If it is awaiting payment, you will find it on the awaiting payment, right? And then you need to edit the invoice. Let's go with the paid invoices. If the invoice is already paid, for example, XERO Transport, you go to XERO Transport, the invoice is already paid. You need to remove the payment before you will be able to edit the invoice. You cannot edit the invoice before you remove the payment. So you click on Less Payment, you click on Options, you click on Remove and Redo, and now you have removed the payment. The account transaction has been removed. You can now redo this transaction by going to Reconcile or by adding a payment. So I click on Invoice Option and I click on Edit. And now I can edit the transaction. Let's say it was recorded as tax exclusive. I want to make it tax inclusive, right? And I update it. Then if you want to make the payment, you have to obviously make the payment here on the receive payment. If it is a partial payment, let's say the customer has paid only 20% of $500. 20% of $500 will be $100, right? So 2 multiplied by 5 will be 10. So $100, so it will be $100, and the date of payment, let's say 10th of September. Paid to the in the assignment would be paid to the cash at bank account, and you have a reference for that, which is the invoice number. Okay, so that's how you add the payment from the customer. Now, in terms of that's for the editing an invoice. If the invoice is awaiting payment, you just simply find it on the awaiting payments. So let's say this transaction, you find it on the awaiting payments, and then you go to invoice option. So because the invoice is not paid, you can easily click on invoice option and click on edit and edit that. But if the invoice is paid, you cannot do that. You have to remove the payment first. That's same for the bills. If the transaction relates to the purchase or sales of an inventory item, you need to find that transaction and find whether it is paid or received. Let's say if it is a bill to the supplier, you need to go to the bills to pay, find the transaction. If it is a paid one, remove the payment and then edit the bill. If it is an awaiting payment one, you can easily go to the bill and click on bill options and edit the bill, right? You can easily edit the bill. If it is partial payment, again, the partial payment could be made here. Full payment could be also made here. For let's have a look at the bills to pay once again. If it is a paid one, again, let's see, for example, this one for XERO, you need to remove the payment, click on options, remove and redo, and then you click on bill options and edit it. Okay, so that's for the editing transactions. The discount is quite simple. For calculating discount on sales, for putting the discount on sales, you go to business, you go to invoices, and let's say I look at if I want to apply discount, I click on one of the invoices, I go to invoice options and edit, and then apply my discount. Let's say 2% discount, I put number 2, and add, apply the discount and update it. Now, one more thing that came up in the class today was about submission. You are required to submit 4 different files from XERO. 4 different files from XERO and 1 written report. Now, 4 different files from XERO that you're going to submit. You're going to submit all the files separately. Don't zip them and do not submit all of them in one file. All files should be submitted separately. Right, separate files. 5 different files are required to be submitted. The first file that you will submit is an unadjusted trial balance. So you go to the older version of the trial balance. You click on the older version of the trial balance. You set the date to be 30th of September 2019. 30th of September 2019. Sort by account code. update, and then click on export and make it as a PDF and submit that PDF one. Okay, so you submit a PDF. Oops, hang on, 30th, why 30th of September? We want 29th of September. So 29th of September, account code update. So unadjusted trial balance, 29th of September. Export, PDF, and get it as a PDF. So 29th of September 2019. Okay, so this is on unadjusted trial balance. Then you will submit a balance sheet. You go to accounting, you go to balance sheet, again the older version of the balance sheet. You set the date to be September 2019. You compare to the previous months. You compare to the previous one period. You click on more options. You sort based on account code, and then you click on update. So September, previous 1 month, previous one period, sort by account code, and then update. So this is this balance sheet for September 2019. You have the September figures and you have the August figures, right? And you click on export and you have it as PDF. Okay. Now, in terms of profit and loss, for the profit and loss, you click on accounting, you click on profit and loss, you click, or you have the older version of the profit and loss. You click on show date ranges, you click on more options. So let's have it from 1st of September to 30th of September 2019. Compare with previous months. Compare period would be previous one period, and sort by account code. Sort by account code. So 1st of September to 30th of September, previous months, previous one period, sort by account code, then click on update, and then you have the profit and loss for August, profit and loss for September. That's 2 months of profit and loss. Then export it to PDF, and that's the profit and loss that you need to submit. Obviously, you have your name and your student ID number on the top. Okay. Next thing that needs to be submitted is your journal entries, adjusted journal entries. So you go to journal report, you change the date for only 1 day. We want the adjusted journal entries for only 1 day, and that's 30th of September 2019. So 30th of September to 30th of September. You tick the box for show posted manual journals only, because we only want to see your manual journals which are posted. We don't want to see your edited manual journals. We don't want to see your voided manual journals. We want to see your final product, which is your posted manual journals. And that's it. So you tick the box for this. You set the date for only 1 day, and this way you will give us 20 adjusted journal entries. You click on update. Here I don't have anything, but in your case you will get 20 adjusted journal entries. You click on export and you get it as PDF. Okay, so this is a journal report for 1 day only. You will have around 2.5 pages of adjusted journal entries. Then the next thing that you will have is your report. So let me go to the LMS and I show you what needs to be in the report. In the report, so let's have a look at the assessment together. So in your report, you will have, basically, let's have a look at the report format, which is quite important. The report format is very important. So you need to have in your report, let's have a look at the report format. In your report, you will have, let's just make it bigger a little bit. a title page, an executive summary. That's a structure of your business report format. A table of contents, an introduction, some conclusion, recommendations, findings and discussions, a list of references, and some appendix. In your appendix, you can have your, visual visualizations or of the, balance sheet or the profit and loss. You can have visualization of the ratios and everything else in your appendix, right? That's the format that we want from you. Okay, so have everything in that file. Then, as I said, to get the full mark this is the structure of your business report. You can read about this table of contents, how to prepare table of contents, how to basically write the introduction, what to include in the conclusion, what to include in the recommendations. So it's quite a very helpful type of readings. I'm not sure if you have read that. Your business report format should be based on this format. Okay. Now, in terms of your financial performance. So in terms of financial factors that you include, I mentioned that, just give me a second, I'll go up. I mentioned that in addition to the 4 reports that you submit to us, you need to provide 1 further report in your written report. So take a screenshot of that report. So basically it means that you go to your company. Let me go to my company. Let me go to the company. You go to accounting. You go to the reports. The many types of reports. Oops, hang on. Go to the reports. The many types of reports that might be relevant. Have a look at the financials. See what are the reports that are relevant here. Have a look at accounting. See what are the reports that are relevant here. Have a look at sales, if there is any report relevant here. And you can use it to explain about the financial results of the company. And it provides a good picture of the financial results of your company. Right? And it helps you to explain, to understand what you need to do to be successful in the future. So get some other reports that you think is relevant. On the purchases might be some reports. On the inventory, some other reports. So any other report that you think is relevant, apart from those 4 reports, including profit and loss, balance sheet, journal entry, or any other profit and loss, balance sheet, journal entry, and trial balance. Anything apart from these 4 reports, right? Get it. Take a screenshot of that. How do we take a screenshot? You can use a snipping tools, right? There is something called a snipping tools, and it is on every Windows-based computer, right? It's called a snipping tool, right? So you can get it on every Windows-based computer. So a snipping tool. It is already installed on your computer. So take a screenshot of that. So and then give it to us. Okay. So that's basically about it. So that's for the written report. So let's have a look at the assignment once again. So this is for the written report that I wanted to mention. So yeah, you also need to compare your company with the average performance of the industry. You need to write a recommendation and explain how the company could thrive in the future, how the company could be successful, and obviously that extra report help you to find out how the company could be successful in the future, right? In terms of referencing, you can either use the APA style of referencing, or you can use the Harvard style of referencing. That's not a problem. And what else? What else I wanted to mention? In terms of adjusting entries, many people ask me if the adjusting entries are recorded to be recorded for 1 year or 1 month. Adjusting entries are recorded for 1 month only. Now, in terms of adjusting entries, I mentioned that many times. Have a look at the LMS. Have a look at the LMS. Go to the LMS for the subject. On the week 1, there is solution to workshop 1 exercises. Have a look at week 1 solution to workshop 1 exercises. I've added one more exercise, exercise 3, adjusting entries plus GSTs. Make sure you read that exercise carefully. Record in this question, you are required to record the transactions for months of June, and then you will be asked to record the adjusting entries for the end of the months. So it is quite similar to your assignment. Let's do this exercise on your own, and then you will be find out how to record the adjusting entries in your business, right? So that's basically about it. Good luck with your assignment, and please make sure you watch this video. Okay, thank you.